The chasm. Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
I hope poor little Diana isn't too upset.
Welcome. How can I help you?
Ancient alchemy truly is fascinating.
Which should I choose?
Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and...
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly... Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! Never mind! Paimon's got nothing. There's just nothing super obvious.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of...
Yep. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk.
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't...
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my where. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important...
Huh? Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But...
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, some of them...
Hiding the truth does not necessarily... Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily... By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concern. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about...
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals'
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in any.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they...
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss...
Then why would...
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee,
Mr. Alhaitham,
Huh? What do you mean?
go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
may I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons.
The fact is that I'm... only one. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. Slowly, I just stopped talking to... and then it happened.
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your secret.
All right. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's go! Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape. Ah, monsters! Watch out! We have to end this.
The wind knows me.
My apologies.
Order guide you. Stabilize.
serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one. Let's go in and take a look.
Hey, Ethan.
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then... I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read? What are you reading? Let Paimon see!
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position.
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya! How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this. Hey! Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. And anyway, it's not Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated. Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no...
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
Time to go. Time to go.
everything's ready. Let's go!
One with nature.
Whirling snow!
Gather!
Into the wind.
Take flight!
This is order.
Look! There's someone over there! Good idea! Let's approach him slowly with...
Wait. You're...
He can't speak. Also, why...
Didn't expect to see him.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too?
No, Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing...
Loaded.
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry. The symptoms are identical.
Huh?
Allow me to jog your... Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh! Now that you mention...
Correct. The academia is behind. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru Village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru Village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King, and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Paimon doesn't want to think about this.
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Paimon's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your...
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't... Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects?
Sounds like you're really against...
Of course. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those...
Not to be callous, but no, there is no shortage of
Probably not.
You can say that. The Divine Knowledge Capsule is something I want to investigate in full.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. He won't last long if we leave him here. We'll work out our next step after...
I'll watch your back. Time to go.
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the Academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be... Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After 'em!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're...
I'll be awaiting your good news.
So, where do we go from here?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay.
These are likely fragments of an Academia-developed device. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been Let's split up and search the area.
Is this what we're searching for?
This is definitely a device used to...
How did it end up buried in the sand? They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry. Your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been... I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do.
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you? Dia!
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's...
This complicated.
You've betrayed Aru Village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing could deter us from the grand mission.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King.
it's not too late yet. The village
You don't understand, my dear.
even if it'll expose you to the academia, even if they end up disbanding the Eremites, your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the
Ridiculous. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevada have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips. But I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars.
Think you can talk me over?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and
You academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Arc.
We've known each other for years.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the academia, you need to steel yourself.
An arm from the Flame Mane. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs.
You're not wrong, but this is different.
Let's do it right here, then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through it.
Dia! That was...
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm. Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your
Whatever it takes. You just.
Huh? Are you...
The Eremites want.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself? Okay, let's get moving.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here.
I'll watch from a safe distance.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be very upset with you.
Fine.
The wind knows me. One with nature.
My apologies. Yeah!
Time to go. The wind knows me. Time to go. Time to go.
They got here before us.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa!
Why is there only one of them?
Raman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a one-for-one exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think? And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
You stay right there!
Boy, what do you think you're doing? Don't you see this blade here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Paimon's dizzy.
This day's going just great.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body. The Dendro Archon. The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no, he's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple here?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to the Scarlet King's civilization. It could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise the Scarlet King!
What's he doing here?
They must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me. Most of them seem in really bad shape, except for him.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown a...
He's not actually...
As it happens,
What are you doing?
don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of the Scarlet King's civilization appear. 2 major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. The Scarlet King will take care of his people.
Stabilize!
I won't hold you back.
It's full of life here. This defies comprehension.
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Rahman,
Huh?
do you see another Rahman here?
Are you mocking me?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to.
Whatever you say.
There's nothing to be angry about.
It does seem kind of strange.
Gather! Solidify!
Into the wind! One with nature! Wind Strider! Follow the wind. Into the wind. One with nature.
Take flight!
will have order. Gather! The wind knows me.
My apologies.
Stabilize! Into the wind!
Take flight.
Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. One with nature.
This is order.
Wind strike.
My apologies. Yeah! Yeah! Whirling snow. Yeah!
Now that's a sight to see. The Scarlet King's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of the Scarlet King.
It's getting brighter. Oh, it looks so beautiful.
Wait. What's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
They left something behind.
What does it say?
Here lies his wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient Scarlet King script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from the Scarlet King's
Isn't sharing knowledge against...
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. The Scarlet King brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping the Scarlet King to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No. No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former Dendro Archon and the Scarlet King were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense.
Was that the former Dendro Archon? She became so tiny in the end.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt the Scarlet King's technology. You've just witnessed his...
I've never... The surviving followers of the Scarlet King all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. The Scarlet King's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, we saw her as nothing more than a traitor. The step...
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I had... How could I ever begin to...
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. Thanks. I should probably go. Can't just...
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. But please, give me some time.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with.
When would be a good time for us?
Tomorrow. And I'll return.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
That must have been rough. But he seems to have figured things out.
Raman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in the Scarlet King. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people.
The outcome, well...
We should get going too. Let's head back. Sino, we're leaving!
Stop yelling.
When the first wisp of wind brushed across the land, birds that yearned for the sky had wings, but no way to fly. They asked the animal god, "How can we reach the heavens?" To which the animal god replied, "You have yet to find that which is most important." As the god spoke, the wind thrust the seeds of a dandelion high into the sky. The birds thrust out their wings, but the breeze was all too mild, leaving them to stumble across the earth. So they went to the gorge, where the wind showed off its wild and incomparable strength. They threw themselves off the cliff and flapped their wings amongst the howling winds until they were able to fly freely in the sky. To the animal god they went to gleefully say, "We understand now. All we needed was a stronger wind to fly." In reply, the animal god said, "What you lacked was not wind, but courage. It is courage that has allowed you to become the first flying birds of this world."
Time to go. Time to go. Time to go. I'll scout ahead. The wind knows me.
Where do you think you're taking that?
I'll be back. Solidify!
Into the wind.
Just following
Lamb
orders.
to the slaughter.
I will have order.
The wind knows me.
You want this?
I'm getting sick of this game. Don't have to wait.
Smell of treasure. Strange.
That's close enough. A new punching bag. Stabilize.
Wind strider.
Take that! Where do you think you're I'll take my leave. I'll be back. Need more. Solidify!
Tja! 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 Wind Strider!
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
Ah, don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please! Swift and painless!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like they've seen a ghost!
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Alhaitham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god. When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata had indeed passed away. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
Time to go. Time to go.
The village keepers you've found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there...
Or I could...
Oh, private...
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some information?
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Your memory is far superior to mine.
By the way, do you still remember?
Your memory is far superior to mine.
By the way, do you still remember?